Hello, dear tea friends from around the world. Welcome to a new tea class with me, Stéphane Herler, the founder of the Tea Masters blog and the tea-masters.com tea boutique. I select wonderful teas in Taiwan and I teach about these teas and about the tea culture so that you get more information, that you get more background about these teas, and that you also know how to brew them to perfection. This year, 2025, was very rich in events, in classes, in teas, and since we are between Christmas and the New Year, Merry Christmas, by the way, I wanted to make a little um, background, look back on the year past. Uh, we are coming also to the time when I post some articles about the top articles I wrote on the blog, and I let you also choose the best pictures of the year in order to turn them into the virtual postcards, the Tea Masters postcards that I then print and that are part of the gifts that I sent to you with each of your tea orders. So this is coming in the next days on my Facebook, especially, or you can also see it. I will also post an article, of course, on the blog. Um, but today we are going to talk more about the videos I made in 2025, and we can see there were two big uh, topics that we studied in 2025. In the first half of the year, we focused on Dongjing Oolong. I've made a sample with the 4 seasons of Dongjing, uh, and we studied the differences between these seasons with teas coming from the same farmer, sometimes even from the same uh, plantation. And what is interesting about Dongding is that it's one of the really major tea in Taiwan between 1976, when the Dongding competition was established, until the early 90s, 1990s, when High Mountain Oolong became more popular and the taste of people shifted towards uh, simple high mountain oolong. I say simple because it's not, it is lightly oxidized, but it's not roasted. What makes Dongding so fascinating, and I think I've been able to show it to you in these classes, is the roasting dimension of this tea. It adds new fragrances, new aromas, but also a taste that is longer, sweeter, and this also allows the tea to age very well, very interestingly, and give us lots of surprises after 15. Actually, yeah, you have to wait almost 15 years to get a real transformation in the aromas, and then it can last 40 years, no problem. 70 is you have a treasure if you have a 70-year-old Dongding. Of course, now we have not reached this time, but I have one from 1980 and or even one in 1978, 79. So these are quite old, almost coming to 50. Uh, really very wonderful teas. The second major topic we had was actually even further in time. We studied Baozhong tea, Wenshan Baozhong tea in the fall semester. I made a sampler with 8 Baozhongs and 1 green tea to teach you the differences between the different cultivars, the different areas, the different styles of Baozhong. It was a really very rich class because Baozhong has even a longer time history than Dongding. Baozhongs were the very first local tea type in Taiwan, even though it was not invented in Taiwan. That's one of the surprising fact that we learned during this class. It originated in Fujian, and in the 1870s, if I remember well. And originally, it was more a flower-scented tea than pure oolong unscented, and it was mostly roasted. Now, in between these classes, we had some other classes. One of them was about the analysis or the study of beverages in Émile Zola's novels. I've started this already in 2024, but I continued this year. It started with L'Assommoir and continued with Nana, Po Bouille, To the Joy of Women, The Joy of Living, and recently Germinal. These are novels from Émile Zola where beverages and tea very often play an important role in setting the story, showing the social differences between the people in the story. And it's quite interesting to see how tea was part of life in the late 19th century in France. It had different roles than today. One of the maybe actually the most viewed class I gave last year was about the history of Taiwan, looked in from the perspective of the tea industry. And the tea industry for a long time was the #1 industry in Taiwan. Now it is microchips, but in the late 19th century, tea was the major export product in Taiwan. And so it really made a lot of sense to present you the story of Taiwan, the history of Taiwan through the lens of tea. This is one of the video that got the most views. All these videos are on my Tea Masters channel. You can go back and see them if you've missed any. They are mostly in the live category. And I've classified them between French, English, and German so that it's a bit easier for you to find, but it is in the live category because most of my tea classes are done live Sunday morning, New York time. And these classes are also, for me, the opportunity to drink some tea. Now, today I'm going to continue brewing my Qinu Baozong, one of the teas that we studied in the fall class. It will be my second or third brew now. I started it this afternoon, and I did not want to start a new tea that would get me too excited. I would need some sleep, so I will slowly pour. Okay. This Qinu Baozong is a very interesting tea because it is made from the cultivar number 22, which is a very new cultivar. The higher the number, the newer it is. And this is a cultivar that is a cross between Qingxing Oolong and Jinxuan Oolong. So it is a really very, very important cultivar because it combines the two most popular cultivars in Taiwan's current tea industry. So, and we found that it really got very, very interesting aromas. And it's made in Sanxia by a farmer who has transitioned his plantation into an organic plantation and has dedicated a new part of his property to build to plant this plantation of Chinu. So the soil is completely new, and it this helps also to make the tea taste very powerful because the plants are also very young on a new plantation. Okay, still has a very beautiful color. It's going to be a bit hot now, but I can already smell the very flowery scents. Who needs flowers when you have such a bouquet under the cover or the lid of the gaiwan? And these flowers explode in your mouth. Wonderful. Even though it's not the first brew, third brew at least, but still very, very nice tea and a good link to what we studied this year. What else did we do this year? Well, that's about it online. But I wanted to show you now we used this book, Baozhong, to study. And I wanted to announce a new book by T. Parker, which just came out in December. It is Gong Fu Cha. So Chaozhou Gong Fu Cha and the other Gong Fu Cha traditions in China, Taiwan, and Southeast Asia. T. Parker has written this new book about Gong Fu Cha. I even got it autographed by the author, my professor. And this one is quite long. It's over 230 pages long. And as usual, beautiful pictures. And nowadays with AI, it's so easy to translate the text simply by taking a picture, asking AI to translate. Actually, reading Chinese tea books is now a children's game. So I really recommend if you are in Taiwan, you can get it easily. And since we are speaking about his books, this is the book that we are going to study also next year, Pu'er Cha, because the next semester I'm going to teach about Pu'er. I'm a bit late in coming up with a sampler, but I will do so in this week. And next week, promised we are going to discuss the content of this class. Wait a few days, I will post the sampler online on my boutique, and then you can order it with the other teas. By the way, the Dongding and the Baozhong samplers are still available if you want to catch up the classes. You can do so easily by watching the videos that are now on YouTube, stored, saved for eternity. However, the teas won't be available eternally, so hurry up if you are interested in these samplers to understand Wenshan Baozong or Dongding Oolong. As you can see, we are moving now towards Pu'er in the next semester, and I hope that you will come along and learn with me and others about Pu'er in 2026. Thank you very much for all your thumbs up, for your comments. I had a comment recently. Somebody wrote, "Oh, this class is uninteresting and dull," but maybe you agree or disagree. Well, if you are still there after 15 minutes, you probably don't think it's so dull. Otherwise, it doesn't make so much sense. But you can leave a comment if you want, if you have some criticism or positive things to say. I am open to any criticism. Okay, we have Terry who writes Happy New Year. I enjoyed reading Zola for the first time in 2025. Your insights were helpful. Thank you very much, Terry, for these nice comments. I'm glad that I could inspire you to read some Zola. One of the thought I had today is how wonderfully lucky we are to live in these times when life is much easier than during Zola's time. They were at the start of the Industrial Revolution, and no matter how you take it, the problem was they did not have enough capital yet to be more productive. So it made sense for people to be poor for sometimes. There was no shortcut available at that time. If you give them higher salaries, actually the productivity would have been slower, would have taken longer. So it was a hard time, and we are so lucky to not to be born at that time, but to live now, and to be able to enjoy these teas from Taiwan, even if we sit in France, in the UK, in Canada, or in the US. It's still possible to order in the US, but only small packages, and then you have to contact me so that I make sure that the weight is not too big, and then we'll set up a payment link. But that's why I still have not fully released the functionality of ordering from the US because of restrictions. Only small packages are allowed in the US, tax-free and with low postage fees, and with a normal post office delivery. Otherwise, the only people who are able to collect custom duties are FedEx, DHL, these kind of express mail systems, and they cost much more than the regular post office fees. And that's why these are two different systems. If you want to make large orders, then you have to abide by these large companies, express companies that charge much more, and then but are also able to collect tariffs. Yes, we are lucky. Thank you very much, Terry. I'm lucky to have you and others in these classes. I wish you all the best. And for the next year, I will see you next year, and actually next Sunday again. Bye bye.